Hey, hello, I'm JulieJo. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today we're going to watch a few videos because the girlies are fighting. Don't forget, if you enjoy the channel and you want to support the channel for free, you can simply subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, you can hit the thumbs up button below. Let's get started.
It's the night that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin. Cause we're still sleeping in my head. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin. Cause we're still sleeping in my head.
So at this point, some of you might know that there is a large group from Monet that have now transferred over to the MLM called the Olive Tree People. I have covered them before. Some of the videos are with my best friend Erin Bees. I will post them below so you can take a look at those if you want. And I will post my video, I think it was a live I recently did on Haley Stell, who's someone who left Monet for the Olive Tree People. I'll post that below so that you can watch that as well for more context. And my most recent video from Alicia Monique and her Mamacitas downline, I will make sure to post that below as well because that's showing a little bit more of what's going on. But today we're going to listen to Sarah Hill be pissed off, Angela Sumner be pissed off, and then Sarah Hill be pissed off again. And I am so excited because this is a perfect example of just MLM top leader Huns who are pissed off. Pretty much what's going on is they got on their Instagram stories and ranted. Angela Sumner has recently left Monet for the Olive Tree People, and she's talking shit about Monet. Of course, people who are leaving Monet, which is quite a few of them, are all talking shit about Monet. And well, Sarah Hill doesn't like that. So we will watch their Instagram stories that they've done kind of back and forth. They're not necessarily to each other, but they are on the same premise of Monet and the Olive Tree People. And Sarah Hill is pissed. I love a good pissed off Sarah Hill. It's 8.5 minutes long, so I mean she put a shit ton of stories up. I did not catch the first few because they only up for 24 hours, but I definitely got enough. She's got a lot to say. Let's watch.
Let's make it really easy. You decide you want to buy a car. So you go to the car dealership and you say, I want this car. And then you sign a contract with the bank. And the bank says, okay, here's the deal. You're going to pay X amount of dollars every month for this many months for the car. You're signing on the dotted line. You're agreeing to that. If you don't do that, we're going to take the car away. And you say, okay, so you sign it. 6 months later, you decide, you know what? I just don't want to pay for the car anymore. But I still want to drive the car. I still want to call the car mine. But you're not paying for the car anymore. You've not held up your end of the bargain. You sign on the dotted line that you're going to pay for the car every month. You stop doing that. They take the car away. So you decide to go to social media and you're going to play victim.
Okay, so what I think she's talking about is how a few of them have been terminated. They didn't necessarily leave Monet. Haley Stell was terminated. Angela Sumner was terminated. So they didn't really leave. They were terminated, but they're embracing it like they left. So it's my bad. I didn't explain that better in the intro, but it's funny that she's going on like this because I think what she's doing is trying to say that like they stopped working. That's on them. They messed up. That's on them. And you know what? Fine. But the thing with MLMs is you don't have to work and you can continue to get checks from your downline. That's what top leaders do all the time. So what I do know about Sarah Hill is that she is one of the top leaders in Monet, and a while ago, I recently talked about this, it was over a year ago, their stats got leaked. You could see the stats from the top people in Monet based on like what they make by their customers and then what they make from their downline. And Sarah Hill was well over 80% of her income from her downline. So I think it's funny because she could simply just stop working and make a ton of money from her downline. And that's how it goes in MLMs. And I think that she's trying to say like these people are playing victims when they're not. They messed up. The issue with what Sarah's saying is she is trying to say that these people are playing victim when sure, I think they're playing victim too. Like if they went against the policy and procedures, that's fine. That's great. That's dandy. But I know for a fact that Sarah has gone against the policy and procedures. I know that for 110% fact. And I've covered it in other videos on Sarah Hill before, so I just think it's BS that she's saying that. Also, the example that she's using is just kind of ridiculous because if you look at it in a sense of if she decided to stop working, would she be like, you know what I mean? If she decided to stop paying for the car, would she be like thrown out? No, she would just continue collecting a check. I know that might not, it's not the same thing, but I just think that example she's using is very interesting because if you use it in the example of what like she experiences in Monat where she could just simply stop working and continue to get paid, it's just total BS. And also because she's definitely gone against policy and procedures and just wasn't kicked out. I don't know. It's just very interesting. And honestly, in my opinion, she's just a very, very hypocritical human being.
How dare the bank repossess my vehicle? I don't deserve that. I'm a victim of this horrible bank that took my car. Well, why did they take the car? Because you breached your contract. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You breach your contract, you don't hold up your end of the bargain, they're going to take your car, they're going to take your house, they're going to terminate you and your business. You don't work there anymore.
The irony of this is my favorite because she's saying, but you breach your contract. You're done for. Like, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, she says the word, your business. And it's like, but you're proving that it's not, Sarah. You're proving that if I breach my contract, I'm outie. Why? Because it's not, quote unquote, my business. You're simply a contract worker with money. A corporate company that has you selling products for them and you making a commission when someone purchases from you or when people purchase from your downline. It's not your business. I find it really interesting because if it was your business in the way that they push it being their business, you would have full control on whether you were terminated or not. My brother is a contract worker for large companies who create video games. He was a big part of the new Modern Warfare game that just recently came out at the end of 2023, and he's a contract worker. They could fire him. He's not going to call that his own business. He's like, I'm my own gaming business. No, you don't. You're working with gaming companies. It's the same with them.
You're not a victim. You made your own bed. And when you take your emotions out of it and just see it for what it is, that is what I'm hoping for all of you in your business.
She is such a smug. She gives me the ick, first off. Like, every time I watch her do anything, she gives me the ick. But the smugness this time is, like, making me so uncomfortable just to look at her. I'm just like, oh, God. Ugh. I've got the ick plus her smugness. Oh, my goodness.
Stop making it an emotional thing. It's not an emotional thing.
If it's not an emotional thing, Sarah, then why did you go and make an 8.5-minute story about it as well as another 6-minute story later on? A couple days later, because you're emotional about it. You might not be crying about it, but you're pissed off, and that is an emotion.
And that's like it. That's like the whole story. Back when I was working as a nurse, if I just stopped showing up to the hospital on the days I was scheduled to work, I'm not going to get paid for that shift. And I'll probably lose my job if I just don't go. So this is what she wrote. If I stopped showing up to the hospital, I wouldn't get paid and I'd surely end up fired. It doesn't make me a victim. It means I breached my contract and have to deal with the consequences. Why is she using these examples? That's not how it is. She's doing false equivalence fallacies where she's using this example of like, if I didn't show up, I wouldn't get paid. And also pretty much saying that that's what happened with Haley Stell and Angela Sumner, but that's not true. That's not what happened. They just broke the policy and procedures and who knows what else, I guess. And I do think it's interesting that they were terminated because a lot of people like Sarah Hill have done it too and they weren't terminated, but you know, it is what it is. Using corporate examples of like, if I didn't show up to work, I wouldn't get paid. And it's like, well, you could show up to work in MLM and still not get paid. She uses those examples when it fits her narrative, but in reality, it's a logical fallacy for her to use them because it doesn't make sense. It's false equivalence. They're not equal. And that doesn't make me a victim. That means I made a conscious decision to stop showing up. And now I have to deal with the consequences of that choice. And that's it. That's very black and white. I usually see the world in gray. But when you stop doing a job, you're not entitled to income. And you're not entitled to keep that job. And you're not a victim if they decide to terminate you for breach of contract. That's what they should do.
I agree. They definitely should. So Mandy Sue should definitely have been terminated for all the shit she did in 2022, I think, or 2021, one of the two. Tony Van Schoik, all of these top leaders have breached their contract and they weren't terminated. So Sarah, Why weren't you terminated? How would you have felt if you were terminated? Victim. Oh, she would have played victim, obviously. She either plays victim or becomes a smug whatever she is currently. Honestly, it's so hypocritical for her to say these things because she should have been terminated for the things that she's done.
And that is not emotional. It's just business. And my last business tip for this afternoon before I go get some other stuff done around this house. Did you hear that? Be very careful who you surround yourself with in business. If you want to do better, surround yourself with people who are doing better than you. There are so many people doing better than me. I couldn't even count on both hands. That's who I want to surround myself with when it comes to work. Because you will become like the people you surround yourself with, whether you realize it or not. Sometimes it's very subconscious. You've probably seen it in the circles that your kids run around with. I can see the best in my kids and the worst in my kids by who they choose to surround themselves with. So if you are self-employed, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're working alone or with a team, be very careful who you allow in your ear. Consider the source, consider the motive, and just really edit that circle of people because it will make or break you in business.
Who you surround yourself with will absolutely make or break you. You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. And if you don't get that, it just means like you can't change who they are, but you can change like who is around you. I don't know. I find it interesting because Haley Stell and like Angela Sumner, they've changed the people around them. I think that they are showing how people like Sarah Hill are just awful and mean and rude. Not saying that Jesus Christ, not saying that Angela Sumner or Haley Stell are better, but what they're proving, I think, is people in Monet are like freaking rude. Especially like from Alicia Monique, a live that she did that I covered recently after all of this kind of went down. She was awful. And I think that these people in Monet are making themselves look so much worse than Angela Sumner and Haley Stell, who are in of themselves terrible. And I have several videos on them. It's just interesting that in an instance where it's Angela Sumner versus someone else, Angela Sumner looks like the decent person. That's all I'm saying.
My husband makes fun of me because I love this movie, but have you ever seen the movie The Guardian? With Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher. It's about like Coast Guard. And, you know, they talk about the drowning victim, right? When someone's drowning, they'll grab onto whoever they can and end up like pushing them underwater, that survival instinct, right, to survive. And there's a scene in that movie where the guy is drowning and panicking and trying to pull the rescue swimmer down. The rescue swimmer has to punch him in the nose, bust his nose up to disarm him so he can save his life. And what I see a lot lately is people, misery loves company, right? And people...
She is grasping at every fucking straw that she sees in the air. She's doing whatever she can to make anyone else look like the person in the wrong. She's making zero sense. She's hoping that people aren't intelligent enough to understand the logic of what she's saying. And if you look at the logic, there's none.
And people who are struggling aren't looking at people who are succeeding as inspiration. They're looking for other people that are struggling so that we can talk about how we're all victims together. And it's just never going to benefit you.
Wait, let's listen to that again. That's my favorite thing she's ever said.
And people who are struggling aren't looking at people who are succeeding as inspiration. They're looking for other people that are struggling so that we can talk about how we're all victims together. And it's just never going to benefit you.
She just victim blamed every person ever who's ever struggled and been vulnerable with someone else who's struggling the same way. I don't think she realized that she did that, but she just made herself look like a big old donkey, if you know what I mean. A big old donkey butt. You know, she just made herself look like that. Seriously, she seriously thinks that what she's saying is rock solid. But the interesting thing in this situation is she looks like the miserable one. Alicia Monique, in my recent video, she looks like the miserable one. Angela and Haley don't look miserable. Oh, this is biting her in the ass. I don't think she knew it would, but it is.
If you feel like you're drowning, you're not going to look over the guy who's drowning next to you and be like, cool, let's drown together. That just doesn't make sense. So edit your circle. Who are you letting in your ear? Who are you surrounding yourself with?
Okay, puppy tax, Sarah. Puppy tax, I hear them.
Is it a group of people who are just, all they want to do is cause chaos and division and drama and talk badly about other people? Or they talk...
Sarah, that's what you're doing. That's what Sarah's here doing. That's exactly what Sarah's doing. And she hasn't stopped this. She's continued it because I just got something from her story today.
Talking about business and life and impact and passion and service of others. Who are you letting in? What are you listening to? Who are the people you surround yourself with? Edit your circle. It'll be painful, but it'll also bring a lot of clarity. So, that's it. That's all I got.
This is what someone's replied to her. That's why we literally have contracts. Take the emotions out of it. So many business owners cause their own by leading with emotions. I literally think about this all the time. You can read it all over people. It makes it easier to decide who you are willing and unwilling to work with. I've really started to vet potential clients on this, and I've learned along the way, if you lead your business with emotions, you aren't my client. No freaking way is it worth it. I will not allow someone to disturb my peace because they are emotional. This strikes a nerve, man. I never want to leave from that. It's the soft foundation that will crumble your business. Don't use emotion at all, y'all. Have no heart. I get the point of like, don't let your emotions take over, but this is just a ridiculous argument. The way that they're shaming these people for feeling a certain way about being terminated is wild. Like, they can be upset. Why wouldn't they? They got terminated for stuff that I'm sure Sarah and plenty of other people have done. She shared a post that says, never forget who had your back when everyone else was taking bets on your downfall. And she said this, so much this. The next thing was another shared post from that same person. Never forget who believed in you when you were just a hot mess with the dream. And the next one is never forget who made your group chat a form of therapy and made sure you never felt alone. Another one, never forget who dared you to dream bigger when you set your sights too low. And then what she did was she shared the Guardian example from the movie about like treading water and continued to share it. But this is what she said about it. She said, now obviously an actual drowning person is a victim, but let's look at this from a business perspective. If someone has made a series of bad business decisions and is now dealing with the fallout from their own choices, they're quote unquote drowning. A drowning person isn't focused on helping others. They're only focused on saving themselves. Self-preservation. It doesn't matter who they take down, they'll try to do it. She continues, and this is what I've been seeing on social media. A bunch of people who don't want to deal with the consequences of their own bad but conscious business choices. And while they're going under, they're trying to take down as many people as they can with them, creating lies, false narratives, and the people who feed on drama are believing it, feeding right into it. You're watching their stories, gossiping, spreading lies, not taking into account the motive or the source. She said, stop watching it, stop talking about it. There's probably plenty of work you could be doing. It's funny that she says that because that's exactly what she's doing. She has spent so much time talking about it that I'm sure that she's leading people directly to it, which I find interesting. So she's doing exactly what she says not to do. And then she continues, this scene though. So many of y'all are allowing certain people to take you down with them when you should be smacking them in the face to wake them up. Personally, I'm so grateful for the people who have metaphorically punched me in the nose when I needed a wake-up call. They did it because they loved me, saw my potential, and had my back. Tough love is love. Okay, and then here she's talking more.
And now I really need to watch that movie again. If you've never seen it, it's called The Guardian. It's probably on Amazon or Netflix or whatever. Maybe not Netflix. Amazon, Hulu, maybe. Very, very good movie.
And then she went on to post a bunch about Monat and how awesome it is. So now we're going to listen to Angela Sumner. She posted an 8.5-minute video. She's now with the Olive Tree people. Her daughter is in some of it, but she doesn't show her face in this, so that's a positive. She starts off by saying, if you signed up as a distributor with me, DM me so we can set up a call. I'll plug you into every source you could ever need to get going. This window of opportunity is wide open with the fastest growing network marketing company in history. It's about to get a lush in our lives, get so lush in our lives.
Hey, I'm going to answer some questions. I've just gotten out of the shower. Eve was playing with my Dyson Airwrap. Just a little tip, if you want a Dyson, you can get it on Mercari for like half off. So okay, let's get into it. Look at Eve's hair. I love you the most. I love you the most. Okay, I'm gonna try to nurse and do this. Hold on. Okay, so one of my girlfriends had a dream. The day that God told me I was going to leave Monat, she had a dream that I was frantically like packing to leave, and I knew. Sorry. I knew it was about money. So many of you guys, I just love you. This has been unimaginably hard to be a single mom and to lose my paycheck overnight. Was terrifying, but there could not have been a better time. I've told you guys when it is time to leap, it's time. Okay, I am gonna drop a link. I'm holding on to you so you don't fall. You. So I'm going to drop a link for you to read all about the products, but our founder is an olive farmer, y'all. He obviously no medical claims, but he healed himself from illness with this ancient olive extract, which has...
Angela! Babe, I was riding the vibe for a while. That is a medical claim, though. I'm going to stop you right there. That's a medical claim. And if y'all want to know more about the Olive Tree people, Erin and I have covered it plenty whenever Shanna Hunter and Mary Scott joined. I don't know if y'all remember, that was like last year. Feel free to go watch those videos. They'll be posted in the description below, but yeah.
Replaced all of the water in our products. So I know you want to stand up. Usually in products, water is added to dilute them. And the only water in our products, because it's waterless beauty, is the water that comes out of the fruit of the olive. So go read the story, and I want to show you something. I want to show you my bottle. Okay, this is one of my bottles. One of my favorite products. I don't know if you can see.
Okay, she said, and you don't have to be afraid of your kids playing with your products because they're completely non-toxic. Angela, if your daughter drank that whole bottle, that probably wouldn't be a good thing. Just because it's non-toxic doesn't mean it won't make you sick.
This thick goo. These serums are so thick and so concentrated.
What the fuck? Why did that liquid become a solid? Did y'all see how she was holding it? Look how she's holding it. Angela, you're not winning me today, babe.
That, do you want to hold it? You can hold it. The serums are so thick and concentrated. Here, you can hold this one.
It's like you're rubbing caramel on your face. That's what it made me think of. Except this caramel's hardened. Give me a caramel apple and I'll be happy though.
Because there's no water. I have had the same products since November and I use them twice a day. So
she seriously gave her daughter that bottle to play with.
So it's like, look at that. It's so thick. It's like turned to gel. You want to hold this one too? Okay. So I want you to look at how thick this is.
Ain't no way I'm rubbing that on my face. That is not going on my face.
There's no water. This goes on your skin.
Wait, did y'all see how it stuck to her finger and made this like, oh, Ava, give him a little glimpse at that. Oh, I don't like that.
It penetrates, it's bioactive, and it begins to heal your skin. To get started, you pay a $50 fee, that is it. And you can choose whatever products you want to try. We have starter kits also. So I bought a starter kit. You get 45% off, but this is what I'm telling my new girls. You only get 45% off one time, and that is with your starter kit. So you have to choose wisely. I truly wish that I would have gotten the biggest one because I plan on hosting like parties, like for girls to come over, have coffee, try the skincare. And so I want a lot of products.
If you see some skipping, it's because I asked Ava to cut out the parts with her talking about Eve.
You are feeling drawn to Oliveda because of the integrity of the brand, of the owner, of the people who are in this.
Just for the record, y'all were terminated from an MLM. While I think that what Sarah and Alicia and them are doing is shit, y'all also broke the rules. and don't have integrity, you deserved to be terminated. I mean, of course, Sarah and all of them do too, but you deserved what you got. Talk about integrity. Yeah, if a company is going to ask you to come and join them, or I don't know, maybe they talk to Haley or whatever, if a company wants you after you've been terminated from another MLM because you broke the policies and procedures, I think there's a lack of integrity in that company. I think they just want the money you're bringing.
It is so ground level. I don't want to bite, but thank you. It is so ground level. Thank you. It is so ground level that we are establishing the culture. Let me just be clear. In other MLMs, the culture is very catty. It's just different. So you might be feeling drawn for that reason. You might also be feeling
Angela, let's remember some of the people who made it that way, aka you. You were one of the worst people. There are videos of Angela out there that are just nuts-a-roni. I mean, she is a wild gal. And I don't mean that in a good way. You can find some on mine. There's other creators too. Just type in Angela Sumner on YouTube and I'm sure you'll find some. She is part of the problem.
pull to do Oliveda because girls who had, thank you, little to no success in other companies are coming in and totally doing so well because this is a ground floor opportunity. So for those of you who don't know what that means, when doTERRA started, there was nothing like it. There was no network marketing company like it. They grew so fast. We are growing faster than doTERRA. We are growing 200% month over month. Thank you. And we are the fastest growing network marketing company in history. We don't even have 30,000 reps yet. And the reason that I'm going to be hosting these like glow workshops, these skincare parties, is because as soon as someone uses the product one time and they see these results, it's a no-brainer. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm so excited. I never wanted to host parties in my previous network marketing company because
there's absolutely no statistics or facts that show that Oliveda is the fastest growing MLM company. Business for Home says that Live Good is the #1 fastest growing, and Oliveda is not even the top 6 from what I can see. Awakened is ahead of it. My Daily Choice is ahead of it. Well, it's not in the top 50 for fastest growing network marketing companies in 2024 as of now. So I don't know where she's gotten that. It must be up from up her button around the corner, but it's definitely not factual.
Well, for a lot of reasons. But the main reason was truly because with that product, you did not see results instantly. You see results instantly. I wish I was really good at content because I have so many things in my head that I wish I could express creatively. I am not a creative. I'm not great at reels. I'm not great at content. That's just not the kind of like influencer I am. I'm an influencer that tells you real talk. I wish I could tell you real talk, but number one, I'm a Christian, so I'm done with that conversation.
You're done with real talk because you're a Christian? What the hell does that mean? You can have real talk without being a complete butthead, but it seems like you can't. She's like, I'm done with real talk because I'm a Christian, because when I do real talk, I'm a terrible, mean person. Angela, what does that even mean?
And number two, you can feel it. You're thinking about getting the air wrap. Here is your...
Okay, I'm done with Angela for now. Well, with that video, I'm going to show you some other stuff that she's posted, and it's funny because she's going against like Sarah Hill and them. Here's one of them. It says, when a leader tells you you'll lose trust by being transparent with your followers about potentially toxic ingredients and even more toxic leadership. I guess they're exposing Monat for not being, you know, as great of product as they thought and a little more toxic than they thought. It's not like we've been saying that for forever. And here is another one of her Instagram posts about it. She said, be right back, walking away from wanting to post snarky replies and facts. Now let's move on to Sarah Hill's most recent stories about it. I'm sorry that she's eating. God forbid she wait another second before she posts Instagram stories. Like, if you're gonna do a 3-hour live like I do sometimes and have a snack, okay, whatever. I'm gonna stop whining about it because I'm sure I've done it before, but still, it's annoying. So she says, I'm gonna piggyback off that post from my friend Lindsay made about creation is greater than consumption. If you're struggling to make money on social media, you're consuming 100 times the amount of content you should be. You're too focused on the consumption over your own creation. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback off that post my friend Lindsay made about creation over consumption. This is the problem I'm seeing in my industry right now. And it's not just people in sales, influencing, direct sales. It's also people in photography, people who are selling guides. Whatever you're doing, if you're making money on social media, the biggest problem that I'm seeing, other than your own mindset, is you are consuming 100 times the amount of content you should be. And you're focused on...
This is absolutely nothing against lip filler, and because I want lip filler, and this is nothing against like how she looks. But when your lip filler starts migrating, you need to get that fixed because it's not good for your body to have like migrating filler, and it can cause a lot of issues. So just a reminder, if you have lip filler and it's migrating, let's like work on that because it's not good for you.
On consumption over your own creation. I have people in my DMs all day long. Did you see what so-and-so's saying? Well, what about this that this person's saying? Did you see what she's doing? Did you see this reel? Did you see this story? Did you see her TikTok? Did you see her Instagram? Did you see her live? Did you see what she was saying about you on her live video?
I don't know what live she's talking about. I looked around, couldn't find anything. If you know, send me a DM on Instagram because I want to react to it.
My question to you is this. How much creation did you do today? How many events did you host? How many events did you plan? How many conversations did you have? How much content did you create? How many times did you go live? What are you doing for your business today? Or are you just sitting around talking shit or watching someone else talk shit? And then you're
I can guarantee Sarah's watched it. Sarah, don't give me that bullshit. I know you watched it. Stop acting like you haven't.
gonna blame the company or the economy or your upline or your downline or this girl who's more successful.
She says in this, I have people in my DMs all day long asking, did you see her story? Did you see her live? Did you see her post? No, I didn't because I was working and creating. My question back to you is no, but I'm more curious what you did today. Did you create or did you just sit around watching someone else talk shit? She is pissed. I'm fine with Sarah being pissed. I think she needs a little bit of something to get her going. Like, I actually think she enjoys this. I think she loves being able to get on her story and be condescending and rude and snarky and all of those things while acting like she is better than them and a better person, a better creator, a better businesswoman, overall just like acting like she has better virtue than them, when in reality, she absolutely does not. The person talking the most is Sarah. So Sarah, I don't believe for 1 second you haven't seen, read, or heard what they've said.
Because you're consuming that content at a massive rate. And people come to me all the time and say, it's not working. The company isn't doing XYZ for me. This isn't working anymore. My first question to them is always, tell me what you're doing. Give me the list of the things that you've been doing. Stop blaming it on everyone else or saying that her content is influencing your decision on how you show up. But you haven't shown up for your business in 2.5 years. Years!
She says, puts in quotes, it's not working, and then continues, my first question is always, okay, tell me more. What are you doing? Oh, you haven't worked your business for 2 years, but the company's failing you, laughy face? You haven't created anything in 2 years, but the company isn't doing its job for you? That's interesting, Sarah. That is an interesting thought because that's not what people are saying. The fact that she has to act like, oh, you're not working and you haven't for 2 years and that's why you're failing, that's not really what's going on. She's just spreading that narrative for people who are seeing people not be successful or say, I wasn't successful, or say like, this isn't a good opportunity or whatever. She wants people who are hearing other people say that to go, oh, it's because you you weren't working. But that's not true. Monat shows us that the majority of people aren't making any money or profiting at all, simply because that's the way it works best. And that's how the MLM business structure works, and that's why it's all MLM companies, not just one.
You want to talk about what she's saying on a live video? Tell me what you said on a live video to move the needle in the right direction for your business. So when you hear a business mentor say creation over consumption, that's exactly what I'm talking about. All these people out here are waiting for other people to serve them or consuming content from people that they feel is serving them, when that promise that you've made to serve others, you've not done in a year or two. You've been too busy consuming.
She says, you haven't worked in 2 years because you've been too busy consuming. Watching someone else's live talking shit about one company to promote her new company is not creating. It's overconsumption. Get to work, homie. Sarah, this is not helping your case.
You know what I'm saying? Going on a Zoom call is consumption. It's not creation. Watching someone else's live where she's talking shit about this company so she can promote a new company, that's not creation, that's consumption. Your business is failing because you failed your business. You didn't create enough. You consumed so much.
Girl, don't put that in your mouth and then keep talking. Don't do that.
That you've done nothing at all. Let's look at this from the perspective of a photographer. You are a photographer in your town. Client sessions are now few and far between. You're not booking that many. All you're doing is looking at other people's work, consuming their content. What are they doing? How are they booking clients?
Those are all good questions to ask. I mean, obviously, like, put in the effort too, but those are all great questions to ask. Like, what are they doing? How are they getting so many people? What can I learn? Learning is part of it. Also, another example that just doesn't make sense.
And you spend hours with this obsession over consumption instead of doing free shoots for marketing, getting new headshots done. Maybe you need to revamp your website. Maybe you need to start offering some online guides.
This makes sense for a photographer, but not for someone in a multi-level marketing company. Like, that's not how this works, because people aren't going to be successful even if they put in all the effort and do everything you say.
Guides. Maybe you need to start selling some presets, working on that. But no, all that time you could use to move the needle forward in your business, you're just looking at what other people are doing and you are wasting your time. And then you say the reason you quit is because it took too much of your time and you were missing out on time with your family. That's because you wouldn't turn off the show and actually get to work. When people start working with me,
first off, how ridiculous does she sound? She sounds so bitter right now. Good for her. She says 1 hour of intentional and focused work a day, 1 hour event. Lives only take 5 minutes, create content for an entire month in 1 hour. She knows that that is not how it's done. That's ridiculous. The funny thing is, creating content is not what makes you money in MLM. Sorry if I'm yelling. Creating content is not what makes you money in MLM. It is selling product and then having people below you sell product. That's what makes you money.
all I ask for and all they really need is 1 hour of intentional work a day. 1 hour. You can do an event in an hour. You can do a live that takes 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes out of the 60 of that hour. Creating content, you can create so much content in an hour, it's sick. You can create enough reels for an entire month in 1 hour. 1 hour a day. You want to start making $500 a week, $1,000 a week, $5,000 a week, $10,000 a week? It starts with 1 hour of focused work a day. But instead, people are consuming 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day and not creating anything. And then they quit because they're so overwhelmed with consumption, not creation. So no, I didn't see her live. No, I don't care about her posts. No, I don't care that she's talking shit. You know why? Because I'm creating.
You obviously care, Sarah, because if you didn't care, you wouldn't even talk about it. You wouldn't make a 6-minute story about it. Maybe you could pop up and be like, hey, y'all don't need to send me that because I don't care, and then like get off and it's not a big deal.
If you're offended, if this hit a nerve, if you're pissed off, I'm glad.
Oh Oh, Sarah Hill. She said, if you're pissed off, good. I did my job, laughy face. Now you know why creation is so much more important than consumption. Look at her face. It's so fucking smug.
I'm happy for that because that tells me that I've hit a nerve, and that tells me that I'm right about something. And I know I'm right. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I'm good at what I do. I'm an expert at what I do. I know I'm right. So if you're pissed off, I'm glad, because maybe that's going to kick you into action of creation over consumption. And now maybe when I say creation over consumption, you really know what that means. So yeah, happy Monday.
That's like one of my favorite moments from Sarah Hill ever, because she's like, if I pissed you off, blah, blah, great, like blah, blah, blah. But she's the one who seems pissed off. Anyway, this whole thing's making me really happy because they're all shitting all over each other and their companies. And, you know, we love a good MLM Hun battle. It's one of my favorite things, to be honest. So let me know your thoughts below on all of this. I'm sure there's so much more to come. I really want to find out who did that live. I looked on Angela's Instagram and Facebook. I looked on Haley Stell's Instagram and Facebook. I couldn't find anything. I looked for other people, still couldn't find anything. Hopefully we can figure it out. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, or if you want to support the channel for free, just hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. I hope you have a wonderful day. There are many more videos below in the description about different things that might add more context to this. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Show you what I'm all about. Make up for what we lost. Tonight is the night that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about yours.